Yeah, this is the final video in the series for now, because there's new stuff that I didn't talk about. Most importantly, this one. Instead of needing 50-50 subpixels to get through the Labyrinth wall, you can get 100% chance to get through the Labyrinth wall as long as you do everything frame perfectly, the rest of it. And all you have to do is exactly this, right? First step, only hold right as soon as the level starts and press nothing else. Roll in a 3-frame window before this guy. The last frame that works is the frame before you would die. So it's that and 2 frames before that. So either pause or don't. I don't pause, but pause there to show it. Hold down and nothing else all the way down the waterfall. Damn, that's really annoying. There's another 3-frame window here. All of this is to manipulate your subpixels, keep them in an exact range that we know from the very start of the level. I'm pretty sure the range is 2 frames before this, 1 frame before that, and 1 frame before that. I'll go back around so I can actually show it and do frame advance. Right. Frame advance. Okay. If you pause on this frame, this is the first frame that works. If you pause on this frame, it works. And if you pause on this frame, it works. I think those are the 3 frames. So those are the 3 frames you want to hit and jump the frame after unpausing. Which I can't really do with the emulator pause, but give it a go. Okay, whatever. Pretend I did that. And then you want to do only full jumps from here until the glitch. So full jump onto the switch, roll off of the switch onto the ring box if you haven't got rings. You want to actually land only on the ring box, and then land down here, do a full jump over and land on this section, do a full jump from here and land only on the bottom flat section, not on any of those steps. Full jump onto there, full jump off of there and onto here, has to be the step, full jump off of there, onto the switch, full jump off of there, and onto this step, not the one I just landed on. You have to wait for the spike ball awkwardly if you're going as fast as possible, slightly, but yeah, so after the switch, full jump onto here. And then just walk off of here onto here, walk off of here onto here to the position and then start doing the glitch. As I talked about in the actual Labyrinth one. Yeah, 3-frame windows aren't too hard, but then all the glitches, all of this glitch is frame perfect pressing, and you can't even piano for getting through the wall because you have to just press it on the frame. Anyway, I already talked about that in the last Labyrinth video. So that's the most important thing for this video that I wanted to show, that you get 100% subpixel chance to get through that wall. Other points of other tips and stuff I didn't talk about in the other videos. At the start of every level, you can do fast acceleration. What's fast acceleration? Well, it's the thing you do in Scrapbrain 3. And it looks like this. Because instead of just holding right and doing a full jump to accelerate as fast as possible, you actually accelerate 3 frames faster if you hold left as the level loads in, and then after 1 frame of turning left, you press right and jump. Turn right for 1 frame and then jump the next frame. Or get as close to that as possible, and you still speed up slightly faster than if you would. So I think you can see where I land on the rings here if you pay attention. So that's doing it normally without turning left first. And that's doing it with turning left first. You see I didn't hit the first ring. So there's that, and you can do that on pretty much every level where you're doing a full jump to start the level. And it saves like 3 frames on flat ground, but on Marble 1 it saves like 10 frames. On Marble 1 you have to wait slightly after turning around. It's the same on Marble 3 because the ground you spawn on is like this, so you want to wait until you're over the uphill section. Like that. Cool, that's the next thing. Well, what am I going to talk about? Why half zips are a thing. This is more just kind of general knowledge so you can know why things are happening and why you can't do anything about it. No. There we go. There we go. Okay, I'm inside the wall. So, if I line up against somewhere obvious, so this is half a frame to the right of the position I want to be in to, you know, carry on with the speedrun and drop down to the next path. Go and see that video. But basically, you get a half speed zip, but it only moves you half of a sonic position. So right now, every time I zip 1 frame, I'm moving like a whole sonic position to the right. Apart from there, where I got to a subpixel range where I only moved half a step, you see the difference between this one and this one is only half as big. That's because every time you zip through a wall your horizontal subpixels add or subtract 12 to them, and they cycle around in periods of 255. So once one gets to, I'm pretty sure once it cycles back over to somewhere in the 0 to 11 range, if you're in 0 to 11, when you try and do a zip, you only get half of the speed. You only get, I can't remember what it is, it's like 14 pixels per frame normally, and you only get 7 or something. And that's why you can randomly, depending on your horizontal pixels when you enter this wall, horizontal subpixels when you enter this, by the time you zip to where you want to be to get down to the next section of the level, you can be half a step out, and you can't really control it, but you have to notice that you're going to be half a step out, and jump in this green space to line up against the wall, and then be back on the correct position after rejigging them by jumping out half a step there or there. And I don't know why I wanted to explain that so badly, because it's not much you can use. It's just like, why is this happening? I don't know. Well, the other thing you can use it for is that 0 to 11 subpixel range is annoying in other places, such as, whereas, like the Marble Zone, there we go, thank you. Such as in Marble Zone. Let's kill this buzzbar. So every one of these marble platforms that moves up and down, you get on the last possible pixel of to make it work. Apart from this one, because you're just dropping into the wall instead of trying to zip to the wall. So I should probably go to Marble Zone 1 instead. But every one of those, you can be on that 0 to 11 subpixel range of the last pixel. And so, when that happens, you don't zip even though you're on the correct pixel. It happens surprisingly often for me, because it's not like a random 11 out of 255 chance, it's the first 11 pixels of the pixel that you move on to. So if you're on the second last pixel, like this, you could do the lightest of taps just to move on to the last pixel. That still worked. And if you've tapped only into the first 11 or less subpixels of the last pixel, which I'm trying to do on purpose, I'll cut to it if I get it, then it doesn't let you zip at all, basically. It'll look like, I can just simulate it by being on the second last pixel, it'll look the same. It'll push you back to the second last pixel. Once you try and do that zip, you'll just do this, and then you'll be standing at the second last pixel. So basically you can keep track of where your subpixels are on a pixel, because you can tap like a couple of extra times. If you're tapping really lightly, you see I was staying on the same pixel that entire time. So I'm on the last pixel now, I can tap left and right a couple of times and not change pixel. I'm just changing, but I am changing my subpixels each time I'm tapping left or right in that 255 range, a tiny bit. So if you know you really don't want to be on like the rightwards closest to the second last pixel of this last pixel, you can tap left like even another time and risk dropping off. But then you know you'll be, out in the good subpixel window of 12 to 255. But that's even more important on Starlight 1, which I probably just missed. There we go. Thank you. Because this one is a much bigger subpixel range. I think I talked about that. But yeah, this one, I'm on the second last pixel now. Oh, I can't do it slowly because I have to do it in the time that the stairs descend. Right. Yeah, this one, you can see when you move onto the last pixel there, I just moved onto it in time. But because I've only just moved onto this pixel, I know that I haven't tapped left even more to get into the final subpixel range. So if I try and zip now, I'll have bad subpixels and go slowly. And I did not. What the fuck? Okay. Good example. Guess my last tap onto that pixel was just really fat. What I'm saying is, you can kind of keep track of where your subpixels are by seeing if you're stationary and tapping onto the next pixel, kind of one by one. You can see how many times you've tapped and stayed on the same pixel, like in combination with the second pixel and when you start hitting the last pixel. But anyway, I'll stop talking about that and try and edit it to sound less stupid. And finally, there's stuff on Starlight 3 which I didn't talk about enough. I did talk about getting that jump, which I just got again first try. That jump's it's like a frame perfect jump, but you also have to jump again 2 frames after, I think. So if you're pianoing properly, you'll hit the frame perfect jump on the first piano press and hit the next frame perfect jump on the third piano press. So I never think about the second jump press, I just kind of smack the jump buttons on the frame that I think is right. Hey, Danger69, thanks for hosting. But what I actually want to talk about in this level is, once you're over here, there is a way to tell kind of what subpixel window you're in. Oh yeah, you can, so first of all, you can get a half zip in this floor just the way you can get a half zip in the wall I was talking about earlier. And you can see when that happens, your subpixels are constantly cycling through if you're pushing into this wall, by the way. So that's how you change them if you think your one switch won't work. But I'm trying to find a point where you can see that happening. This works, by the way, if you go from here to here, that's the right speed for doing the, if I jump the frame after I'm pausing now, that'll do the glitch properly. So let's just try and find a half step. There we go, so I've gone 1.5 here. I went to the halfway point and then I've only got a half step, so you can see I'm not far enough to the left here, to that position that you're looking for. And now I am, because I've slid back and my subpixels changed in that time. So once you're over here, hey, perfect. So normally there's a green block here. Most of the time, kind of 80% of the time, you'll see a green block glitch background element here. And if that's the case, your best bet is to go for the first subpixel window. I have a handy MS Paint diagram. I hope it's still here. It is. Okay, good enough. This is the subpixel window you normally want to go for. I'm writing in black. Hell yeah. Right. 67%. Obviously, that's a better chance. When you can't tell what your subpixels are, go for the 67%. And that's the window I was talking about before, where you kind of want to be in between the two sides of this green grate in the background. And that's where you want to have paused in between there, hold right, unpause and pause as fast as possible, and then let go of everything and unpause again. But if that green glitchy background element, which looks like that, except it's further back where I just showed you, further back in this position, that's normally here. If that's not here, like it is now, then you always know, for some reason, that means that you'll always be in this range. This range will always work. So if you get that, you're lucky, because you know exactly where you have to be, and it's no longer RNG. So in that case, you have to wait till your pause is slightly later, as you can see in this ish range. And in fact, it's kind of more like, you can, if you're in anywhere over here, you can just hold right, and I think it should make it. You can just hold right after unpausing, and it'll go through the wall. Yeah, this is not exact. These right press frames, like there's definitely one that works with like 4 over here. Ideally, exactly kind of in the center of this grate, if you're exactly here, that's the best place to go if you don't know what your subpixels are, because that's like you don't need the most precise unpause pause, like only unpausing for 3 frames or whatever. You can do it for like 4 frames, that'll work. Anyway. But yeah, if you don't see this green thing spawn as you're flying past, that means do this one. That's what I gotta say about that. Anyway, I think I'll shut up, because that's already too long of a video. I have to do loads of editing on it. And if there's any new stuff discovered, I'll try and add it in or link to it or something. The only other thing I didn't talk about a lot was the rest of the Scrap Brain 2 frames when you're falling down here. All the ones that work in the certain different positions if you're further away from this wall horizontally. This is normally the one I get. This is the perfect one, like as close to the wall as you can be without landing on it. And then on this frame, hold left. But I went over these ones when you're this horizontally far away from the wall, kind of still intersecting it. In the video, there's just a couple of other ones where if you're too far out from the wall, if you pause late on the pause back up there, you'll be further out from the wall and you'll be kind of out here. And then there's only a couple of different ones that work, and they are completely different ones. And here's Chubbis's notes on them if you want to pause and make any sense of that. So I thought I'd just show that to show you what I have to work with. Because that definitely makes any kind of sense. Good luck with it.